Viva Las Vegas! We are 3 races away from crowning a champion in Sim 500's FEG Xfinity Series, as tonight we begin the round of 6. A little different than the traditional playoff format here at Sim 500. Tonight is the first of 3 races to crown a champion, and it is between 6 drivers as we welcome you in tonight to race number 24 of the season from virtual Las Vegas Motor Speedway here in Nevada on iRacing. I am the captain. We welcome you in where it's, of course, the default iRacing weather. It's where you see 79 degrees, partly cloudy skies as per usual. It is going to be a fast race on a very fast track. A track that has multiple grooves, multiple bankings, and is very slick from what I'm hearing from the drivers. 100 laps tonight, 50 the halfway point. A pretty straightforward race here to begin. Race number 1 of the round of 6 to crown a champion for the 2022 FEG Xfinity Series. So we get ready to go racing here in just a few minutes. Yes, I'm a couple minutes early. That is because we're wanting to, well, 1, drop my phone like I just did, but 2, we're wanting to open up more avenues to talking to drivers before the race and so much more. Plus, we're going to kind of share some news with you in just a little bit about Monday nights. Captain's going to be a little busy, which is a good thing. He likes being busy, and should be a lot of fun when we talk about that coming up here in just a little while. But right now, let's talk about the point at hand, and that is where we sit going into tonight's race here in Vegas. Those are the 6 drivers right there running for the championship. You will notice the points. They are all tied at 5,000. Pedro Mojica, Josh Adams, Chad Coleman, Bob Gillenwater, Chuck Sweeting, and Jimmy Coleman. Those drivers all running for the championship here this evening. We're going to talk to a couple of them tonight. We'll talk to a couple of them next week, and then the other couple at the final race in Phoenix here in 2 weeks as we get closer and closer into this championship run. So that's the point standings. Now the laps are going to look a little different. Now I've been showing about the top 4 or 5 in the category to win the CSL Direct Drive wheel, and I've done that because just to show who's been at the top. I've modified it now to where everybody who is still eligible for the wheel is on the board. And there it is, right there, all the way down to Kevin DeBrown with 2,156 laps. Basically what I did is there are 340 scheduled laps remaining. Of course, green, white checkers and that kind of thing can play a role. But 340 laps are scheduled. The good news is below Kevin DeBrown, there's about a 200 lap difference. So even if there were green, white checkers involved, the people below Kevin are eliminated from the competition to win the CSL Direct Drive wheel. But technically, this is who we have left. After tonight, I'm sure a few of these names will fall off because after 100 laps, we'll only have 240 laps remaining, so on and so forth. So we'll start cutting them down as we work our way up to the standings. So Josh Adams has been leading pretty much throughout the season over Chad Coleman by 2 laps. And then Chuck Woods there, Charles, is roughly, what is that, 13, if I can do some math right, points there behind, or laps behind. Chuck Sweeting is in that battle, and so is Pedro Mojica. So all these drivers right here mathematically can still win the Fanatec CSL Direct Drive wheel, thanks to our good friends at the Ford Entertainment Group. So appreciate those guys for putting that on. So we got a couple minutes here before qualifying, so let's try to drag a couple of drivers up here real quickly and see how they're feeling as we get ready for the championship run of 3, race 1, starting here tonight. And let me go ahead and grab, I'm actually going to start at the bottom of the standings. Let's do that, shall we? And we'll go from 6 to 1. And of course, Jimmy Coleman is down there in the 6th position spot as you saw me peek at the screen real quickly. Voice volume is low. That's concerning. As we bring Jimmy up here, we're going to talk to him here for just a quick second. Jimmy, of course, you, my friend, have a chance here at this championship. Right now, you're down at the bottom, but that's you're all tied at 5,000 right now. But obviously, you snuck your way in last week. You haven't gotten yourself a win yet this season. Do you feel like a win is necessary maybe in these 3 races to get yourself a chance to win this thing?
I'm not gonna say it's necessary, but it's definitely going to help out. Man, it's going to show how consistent up front we're going to have to be. So well, I don't know, man. I'm looking forward to it. Ready to get this thing started.
How's the car feeling right now at Vegas? I know it's pretty slick out there on this track.
Yeah, it's a little bit slick. I think you're going to see some guys get loose as we go on, and might get spread out a little bit. May get some green flag racing, which hopefully it'll work in our favor. So
We're looking forward to it, my man. Well, we wish you the best of luck here this evening as you get ready to go qualify here in a couple minutes, and hopefully we'll talk to you maybe in the top three tonight, if not in victory lane.
I hope we do, man. Appreciate it, Chris.
Absolutely, Jimmy Coleman, one of our 6 finalists right now. Please let me know if my volume is any better or not. Going for the championship here, or I should say, the championship in the next 3 races. As we get ready to get going, as qualifying is actually about to start. So I'm going to wait here and let's go ahead and just get down here and watch qualifying and see who can win the pole for this race. And then we'll bring up another driver here to talk in moments. Let's see who gets out there on the track. It looks like Josh Adams may be one. I see him sitting there. Adams, our winner last week at Talladega, and a very wild finish that even had me choking on the air. Yeah, that was an interesting one on my part. Just saying. Right, Josh is holding off on leaving the pits. It looks like right now, as he sits there. Let's looks like Jatina's going to run a lap here. So here we go. Of course, you see the qualifying down there on the side. And as per usual, when that color is purple, that person is on a lap that could be the pole. If it's green, that means they're on a faster lap. If it's yellow, that means not so much of a faster lap. As Jatina brings it down turn 4. This 1.5-mile track banked between 18 and 20 degrees. And he brings the 14 across the line. Wortman there, 31.42, a 30.98 for Jatina. Good lap there. That'll place him solidly in. Here we go. Now we got some playoff drivers out there. Bob Gillenwater's leaving pit road. Here comes Adams. Adams out on track. Solid through turn 1 and 2. It's almost wide open through this whole entire part of the track. Especially on these fresh tires, you might have to blip it a little bit here. Josh is actually going to play too. He's going to run this high side so he can get the run off the top side of turn 4 here. Brings it down to the line. It will not be a good qualifying lap, but he'll have a chance here to play 2. Yeah, 32.02. That is not good. Tommy Ryan up top right now, 30.87. Jatina right there with a 98, a 99 from Arnold, an 01 from Mondesi. You look down there, Pedro Mojica's in the purple. And I believe he is going to jump to the top, 30.83. Let's see what Adams does. Up to 8th, 31.12. Not a good effort for him, unfortunately. Bob Gillenwater up to 7th. Tyler Dalton. He jumps to 3rd. Here's Chad Coleman coming on track. Chad, another one of those drivers with 0 wins, but made it into the final 6 here. The 6-pack, whatever you want to call them. I'll come up with some creative name. Chad decided to run the middle groove right above the bumps. There are some serious bumps there in turn 1. Right in the middle of the corner where the tunnel is. That can easily send your car packing if you hit it right. 2, 3, and 4. That NOS Energy Drink Chevrolet. Brings it to the line, and it looks like 31.03, so 9th for the Georgia driver. Let's see what he does for a second lap. We'll also watch Jimmy Coleman, who's on track. Jimmy's first lap, 30.97, P5, so good lap on his part. Got plenty of cars out here in this race tonight. Not a lot of them have qualified, it looks like. I'm looking down, only 18 have logged a lap. Chad got loose off 4. That's probably going to hurt his time here. Let's see. Yeah, it's about the same. So, unfortunately for Chad, I saw his rear end come around a little bit there off turn 4. And going to cost him a chance at the pole. And it looks like 5 of the 6 drivers in the playoffs have logged a lap. And this is the only one left. Chuck Sweeting in this red, black, and yellow car. Had me confused last week. When I see the black on the car, it almost looks like somebody's put tape on the car. Sweeting crossing the line 16th, and as he does that, qualifying is going to end. So now we will have a 1-minute warm-up. So this will give us a chance to talk to another driver. We talked to one Coleman. Let's talk to the second Coleman, shall we? And that being Chad Coleman, who is the second of 6 drivers that'll race for a championship here in these next 3 weeks. Chad just went out there and qualified top 15, it looks like, tonight. What are we looking for in that 38 car this evening, and could we maybe pull out that first win tonight?
It'd be nice, but other than that, we're just looking to have a pretty good points night, so we can go on next 2 weeks and be close going into that last race. I think a lot of it's going to come down to try to hang around in the top 10 and get good stage points. I hate having to race like that, race for stage points, but you have to do it. Let's do.
Question for you, I asked Jimmy the same thing, and I ask you this question. Do you feel that you have to win a race in this round to have a chance at the championship?
I don't think so. It just depends on... It just depends really on Pedro. Pedro's really consistent. If he knocks off 2 wins, then, of course, it's going to be hard to beat him.
That's a fair answer, man. Well, hey, best of luck here. Looks like you're going to grid 100 laps tonight, and let's roll the dice a little bit, if you will.
Yep. Thanks, man.
Absolutely.
Welcome to Mondays.
He broke the news a little bit, but hey, appreciate it. Chad Coleman. You would do that, by the way. Chad Coleman. Good guy. Chad Coleman starting in the 10th position, it looks like, for him in the 38 car. Let's get him down to his team name channel. And let's take a look at the starting lineup here for the race this evening. Seems like a front row I've been seeing a lot lately. Pedro Mojica, Tommy Ryan on the front row. Pedro had all but a perfect playoff so far, but Talladega was not pretty for him last week. He was able to hold on, though, with his couple wins. He'll start on the pole alongside Tommy Ryan. Tyler Dalton and Doy Woods will start in row number 2. Jimmy Coleman, Joey Jatina, the 2 admins and boss man, if you will, starting there in row number 3. Row 4, Eric Arnold, disappointed second round there, unfortunately eliminated from the playoffs alongside Bob Gillenwater. Mike Modesty, Chad Coleman there in row number 5. Row 6, Glenn Campbell and Jeff Ryan. Row number 7, Josh Adams, Tom Dreiling. Row number 8, Andrew Teft, making his second straight start alongside Chuck Sweeting. Ron Holyfield and Tristan Ferris will start in row number 9. Row number 10 is where you'll see Brian Wortman. Daniel Falkingham did not make a qualifying effort, so he'll start there in P20. 21st, Jose Gonzalez, who had a pretty good run going at Daytona last week until some things happened. Scott Simley making a return tonight. Josh Parker, as usual, starting the back alongside Charles Woods. Randy Yoakum alongside a man that's going to be a part of the surprise announcement that's kind of already been announced, I guess, now. John Muschin Jr. there in 26. Steve Herring, Doug Sigmund there in the 14th row. Ed Burrell and Gerald Livingston, row 15. And the rest of your starting grid will be nobody else. Josh Parker didn't make the grid, so there we go. 100 laps tonight will make up the, what would be 150 miles in this race this evening. 50 laps, the halfway point. 6 drivers made it all the way to this part. 3 races from now in 4 weeks, we'll know who's the best of the six-pack. As we come to the green flag at Las Vegas, who's going to gamble and win? Sunday night, Sim 500 on the Captain Esports Network. Brian Wortman down inside the lane. They're falling back. He's a little tired, let's just call it. We'll explain his adventures from Watkins Glen and getting home really late last night as they come off turn 4. Pedro Mojica leaving right to where he left off in round number 2, leading lap 1. As per usual, the drivers with the P next to their name, those are the playoff drivers in the 6 rounds. As Tyler Dalton whips it outside, he said that middle groove looked pretty good for him. As the lap car, or soon-to-be lap car, Josh Parker just left the pits. As Dalton does get the lead, Mojica lets him have it. Tyler going to lead the lap 2. Our cameras tonight, as usual, presented by TrackCams22.com. You can check them out online or over in the iRacing forums or on Facebook. You can find them everywhere. All the cameras you are looking for, from rallycross racing to this to road racing. You can find them all right there at TrackCams22.com. Even short track cameras. I got fan cams. So many options there for you. We watch this battle up front for the 3rd position. Jimmy Coleman inside Tommy Ryan, the outside pole sitter, falling back 3rd, 4th going by. Now Doy Woods making a look. You see Jatina there behind him. Bob Gillenwater also there behind him. A little tight there with Glenn Campbell. The 44 car. Jeff Ryan there on his outside lane. Jeff trying to form a lane. He's got it there. Got the run along there with Chad Coleman. We want to ride with Glenn. And Jimmy Coleman, you can just see the different lines that everybody's running. As I mentioned, 18 degrees, and Jimmy Coleman having a little bit of a connection issue there. 18 degrees of banking on the bottom, 19 degrees in the middle, 20 degrees at the top, and then these bumps that are right about here that you have to put up with where the tunnel is. Could easily upset your car and send it up. Mondesi may be falling back just a little bit there. You see Gillenwater to his inside, Chad Coleman there also. At this point, you're just kind of pacing yourself because you're tied for the point lead as you enter this race tonight. So how do you put yourself in harm's way? Well, by doing that, you get yourself into the wall early in this race, or you get yourself wrecked out or anything. So pace yourself. 100 laps, yes, it's a quick race. It's only going to be a one-stop race unless we have cautions. But you have plenty of time. Save those tires and work your way up. I think that's what Mojica's doing there behind Tyler Dalton, is kind of riding and saving his tires a little bit. Some of these others maybe trying to get some track position there. Like Joey Jatina and Doy Woods there battling it out. There's Gillenwater and Mondesi, Jeff Ryan, Chad Coleman. This is all from 4th to about 10th. All in this battle right here. Gillenwater getting his door shut there a little bit by Doy Woods. He had to back out of it there. He's going to lose some momentum topside. See Woods there trying to hold off Mondesi. Mondesi's going to slide up there and take that position away. Doy looking back low. A little bit of defensive move from the 6. Already 9 laps in. Everybody's starting to spread out a little bit. Only Josh Parker, I could say right now, is probably the one looking for a yellow flag. And look at this. Jordan, number 10 car. I think, new name tonight here. Tristan Ferris. That is actually a pretty sweet paint scheme. I like that gray to it. Almost like a chrome color in that number 10. Got the 22 there behind him, a Teft. 23 of Dreiling there in front of him, and then the 57, Chuck Sweeting. And right in front of Sweeting, here's Josh Adams. So two playoff drivers back here battling it out now, 14th and 15th position. Daniel Falkingham has worked his way up a few spots right now. He sits in the 13th position, up 7 right now. This is normally the part of the race where I tell you that Josh Parker is the biggest mover in the race, but him starting on pit road, he's still 30th. You see Dreiling moving up to that top side. Trying to get a run off top, not able to do so at the moment. So 13 laps in, Tyler Dalton still holding a pretty good lead here, 4/10 over Pedro Mojica. Tyler unfortunately eliminated late in that Talladega race from the championship and involved in an accident. You could definitely hear some of the disappointment. I talked to a couple of the drivers after the race that unfortunately were eliminated from that championship, and you could hear some that were disappointed maybe at others for things that had happened at the end of that race with some of the wrecks that happened and that kind of thing. But, you know, unfortunately, that's super speedway racing, and when you put, you know, a battle for a championship on the line at that moment, at that track, it can be interesting. Doug Sigmund with some issues as he's cutting the grass here in the infield, front straightaway. No caution as he kept it straight. I can think of a race at Chicagoland, a similar track where a paint scheme kind of like that went to victory lane after going through the grass like that. That would be 2002 Chicagoland, though, by the way. As I mentioned, the Ford Entertainment Group, FEG, they are the sponsors of the series here in the Sim 500 Xfinity Series. And the Ford Entertainment Group specializes in sim racing and sim flight gaming machines with over 3,500 PCs built for sim racers and sim flight pilots. All of their computers, their sim flight PCs and their iRacing PCs are covered with a front-to-back warranty on every part, as well as free labor. Everything is covered PC. The battle for the lead starting to shape up. This is kind of reminding me of the race a couple weeks ago where Tyler Dalton jumped out to a lead. Mojica just kind of hung back and made the moves he needed to and jumped up there and took the lead and went on to win that race here just a couple weeks ago. I believe that was the Indianapolis race, if I remember correctly. Or it might have been Michigan. And if it was Michigan, actually Pedro didn't win that race. That was a Daniel Falkingham win, but I remember Dalton going to the lead. And I think it was Michigan as I think about it now. Very similar tracks. So Eric Arnold is third right now. Jimmy Coleman and Joey Jattina having a great run there in the fifth position, trying to hold off Tommy Ryan. Tommy, who might have, if there was a Goodies Headache Award like there is in, there used to be a NASCAR and there's some other series out there, I think, that do some kind of award like that. I think Tommy would have been the winner of that for the whole entire series last round, as I think he was involved in wrecks in all 3 races. So this is where Vegas becomes a very interesting track. Tires are wearing, and they wear pretty good here on iRacing, but Pedro's going to try to go to the bottom. You're going to see that Tyler can run that middle of the top side here and get a run off the corner. Very tough to pass here. You see the Todd Kirkwood memory paint scheme still on the car for Tyler. He ran this last week at Talladega and, of course, here at Vegas, and we continue to send thoughts and prayers to the Kirkwood family after the passing of Todd. You know, like I said, I used to broadcast with GSRC, those great people over there, and I'll still do it time to time, but for a league called Premier Racing League. And I remember Tyler being in that league, and Todd actually did a lot of work in that series. That was the closest I ever got to Todd. You know, I don't remember if I actually had a conversation with the man, but I do remember his hard work, and I saw so many great things about him put up on social media and stuff. And just want to send our condolences to the families from Sim 500, of course, from the Captain Esports Network over to that family. As Tyler drifts up the track here, this might open the door for Pedro. Look at him fight that wheel. Pedro able to get that left front lower. I've talked about this many times this season. When he's been able to make a pass, somehow he gets that left front into clean air and just gets that run off the corner. Tyler just easing his way back to the throttle. 22 laps complete, top 10, all within 4 seconds. We take a break. You see Joey Woods battling with Joey Jatina, has fallen back to the 6th position, but there's Daniel Falkingham up to 9th after starting 20th on the field. Daniel working on his road to pro status. I know he's in that 2nd round and coming pretty close to being a pro driver. You hear him talk about it a lot during his interviews, how his status is going through that. The lead battle is on again. Pedro going to get inside and slide up in front of Tyler. Tyler says, you ain't doing it that easy, my friend. He might have to give it up here, though. Pedro should send it in. He will. And Mojica finally to the lead after giving that battle to Tyler. Great job by Tyler also to hold on. So right at the 1/4 point of this race, it is Pedro Mojica to the front. And looks like that Jeff Ryan on pit road, unscheduled pit stop for the 3 car. He actually jumped the pit road, so it looks like some issues there. Unfortunately, for the North Carolina 811 cars. Gillenwater, was he out of shape there for a second? Saw Chad Coleman make the move around him, and now the 44, whole bunch of 4s here. Looking to make a pass. Maybe you can save your tires. You could look sporty, but it is very tough to pass, and surprised I haven't seen really many of the cars move up top side. Some of them about maybe a groove up. But eventually in this race, I think as the tires wear, you could see some of these cars matriculate up to the 3rd lane, maybe even up against the boards. And up here for third, and right on cue, Eric Arnold up against the boards as he battles with Jimmy Coleman for third. Eric able to carry that momentum off of turn 4. Now Tommy Ryan's going to use that second groove and work the high side. On that wheel and going to clear the Coleman machine down to turn 1. So 3 of the top 6 playoff drivers in the top 10 right now. We still got 20 laps before the halfway point. We still got about 24 to 27 laps before we see the pit stop. I think you're going to see a lot of drivers split this race in half. And as soon as they give away the 10 bonus points that you do at the halfway point, I think at that point you'll see everybody come to pit road and get tires and fuel. You might see some people towards mid-pack or the back go as long as they can. And you might see some who know they don't have a chance at the race win or feel like they don't, might try to short pit and jump them. As Gillenwater going to slide up in front of Montesi and take the position away. Almost. Montesi with a good run off top side there, and Bob had to adjust and get back to the bottom, where he'd have gotten run over. This battle's all over the place right now. Look at this, as Falkingham joins the battle. Here comes fresh tires of Jeff Ryan up top. Unfortunately, Jeff's a few laps down, but he's still out there racing for pride as Falkingham has gone by Coleman for 5th. Ryan trying to get up here to Eric Arnold to battle for 4th. There's battles pretty much all over the place right now. And I just heard a call. I think we're going to see Eric Arnold, 3rd place, come to pit road here. At the 1/3 mark. And I thought I just heard the 00 say he's pitting. So this is a team strategy, it looks like here, of coming to pit road here at lap number 33. So if I'm hearing this strategy right, that would mean they're going 33. They're probably going to go to 66 and then go to the finish. So an interesting call here by this team. I just heard somebody else say they're coming in. I mean, I heard them say tire wear was pretty big, but I didn't expect it to be like where you couldn't run a whole stint on fuel, maybe. But now that question comes into play. As Andrew Teft on pit road, by the way, that other car I heard call out his pit stop. 14.5 from Mustin as he pulls away. All right, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, they continue to battle it out here. Chad Coleman, I should say, battling Joey Jatini here. There's battles everywhere right now, as I mentioned. Pretty much single file though as we run. You see Tommy, there's one of the first cars up to the top side along with the 31 a second ago. Tommy easing it down into turn 1. That car just sliding around. You see him fighting it. All right, it's going to get us a chance. We're going to step away for a quick second, come back, and get you to the halfway point. Who gets the bonus points tonight and who is going to be short pitting or whatever. See Josh Parker coming to pit road from the 26th position as you're watching the Ford Entertainment Group Xfinity Series with Sim 500 from Vegas here on the Captain Esports Network.
This is your chance to get behind the wheel. The opportunity to race just like the pros. From the grassroots levels, where we all got our start, to the most popular race cars on the planet. From the fairgrounds of Nashville to the high banks of Daytona, to tracks that will never be forgotten. Realistic driving, intense competition, all from the comfort of your own home. This is the ultimate motorsports simulation. This is iRacing.
Welcome back to Vegas, and we have got some interesting moves coming right now. More cars coming to pit road early in this race, including somebody who started up front. Joey Jatina is coming to pit road along with Ron Holyfield there in the one car right here at lap 40. So these guys may be splitting this race into threes. That's got to be what this is all about. These guys are pitting to split the race into threes, knowing that they cannot make it all the way or feel like they're better off running this run than to go into the halfway point and giving up the bonus points. 4 tires and fuel for these cars. I would say Eric Arnold, Joey Jatina, the 2 out of the top 10, at least running in this race, that have made this decision. Buckingham up to the 3rd position now. He's gone past Doy Woods for Bill. Look at him turn that thing sideways. I think Eric Arnold kind of caught him by surprise there. And here's a battle with Jose Gonzalez. Just outside the top 10, now entering the 10th position. Josh Adams, a playoff driver. Best Buy back on the car this week after a couple weeks off with a Danhausen paint scheme. He cursed the field and won Talladega last week. And Adams going to make the pass for the 11th position. Appreciate the viewers watching tonight. If you're watching on Facebook, if you're watching over on the Sim 500 Facebook, if you're on the Twitch page watching, or if you're on YouTube, appreciate you joining us. Hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. We're actually on Twitter tonight too. If you have a Twitter account, you could be watching us there. How? Well, go look up the Captain Esports Network on Twitter and you'll see the link right there where you can watch the screen right there on Twitter. Doug Sigmund to pit road, Tom Dreiling on pit road. Who else are we going to see here? Scott Simley getting around Glenn Campbell at the moment also. So Gerald Livingston, Doug Sigmund, as I mentioned, on pit road. Doy Woods trying to hold off Tommy Ryan. This is the 4th place battle here. I think it's the one thing Tyler Dalton did not want to see behind him, is that 39 car making an approach after looks like he's fallen back to about a 1.5 seconds, almost 2 seconds back now from Pedro up front. Chuck Sweeting under attack as the Speedy Gonzalez mobile makes the pass. It's funny, I've been talking about how hard it is to pass here, and I'm seeing a lot more passes now as tires wear out. Gillenwater going backwards now as Josh Adams makes the pass. I'm surprised we have not seen a playoff driver. I'm hearing people talking about right fronts now, so we got to be careful here, because on iRacing, if you've never seen this before, on iRacing, The only way you know if you blow a tire is if you wear it completely out. And if you do that, it actually gives you what they call a meatball flag. It's the black flag with the red meatball, if you will, in the middle. And that's the only way you know you have it. You go to turn 1, and all of a sudden it goes straight. And when you get this point in a race, if you're wearing that right front out, you got to be careful of it. Charles Woods on pit road. Look at Chuck Sweeting way off the pace here right now. So I'm surprised. Then again, I'm not, because you've got, what, 5 of the top 6 right now. Gillenwater. If I'm Bob Gillenwater, I'm coming to pit road. Because it's like, just to be safe, knowing that you're probably not going to get points unless somebody else pits here. Gonzalez going by Coleman. You can just see who has had who's got tires wearing out, who doesn't. I mean, people are just flying by others right now. Coleman's up in the wall. I can do my best to see if anyone blows a tire here, but it's going to be very tough to see unless they go straight up the track. Because you don't really see the splitter sit down, so to say. Two laps away from the halfway point. Mike Modesty comes to pit road. Austin ripping the top side here, passing by everybody. And here's the battle for second coming up as we hit the final lap. Gillenwater is on pit road. Going to get that head start and get one lap at least on these tires. See who he can undercut maybe and jump to maybe back into the top 10. As a 3-second lead for Pedro Mojica. As he just continues his momentum, another stage win and 10 bonus points coming his way towards a championship as Pedro Mojica gets the halfway bonus. Looks like Dalton will hold off Falkingham for second. Doy Woods, Tommy Ryan, Jose Gonzalez, Coleman. A battle here across the line. Not sure if it was Adams or Sweeting or Coleman. That's let's go back to it here. Across the line, there it is. Sweeting holding off Josh Adams. Looks like that was 8th, 9th, and 10th in the battle there. So that's how that works out as we see the two Colemans to pit road now. Oh, Chad overshoots his pit stall. As Coleman leaves after overshooting his pit stall, had a decent stop, but unfortunately had time lost. Daniel Falkingham on pit road. Tyler Dalton is in. Pedro Mojica is still out there. So he's going to run this tank all the way out. So did a great job saving the tires when he was riding behind. Tyler Dalton there, and I'm sure he's coming to pit road right now. Here comes the leader of this race. Tyler Dalton had a pretty good stop, it looks like, on his end, as I see a 15-3. But Mojica, Simley, Adams, Falkingham on pit road here. This is where we're going to see really the difference in the tires right now. And who pitted and who hasn't. So far, Gonzalez, Tommy Ryan, Randy Yoakum, and surprisingly, Brian Wortman. There's sarcasm there. Wortman's pretty good at saving tires. Are the only cars that have not pitted. 4 tires and fuel for the 58. And he pulls away 15-2. 15-1 for Simley as Gonzalez now on pit road with Josh Adams. And Brian Wortman, as I mentioned, he is 5th right now on the board. He is yet to pit. Brian up there at Watkins Glen yesterday, either helping out with one of the series, as he's done for the last few years since he graduated from the, of course, the school goes right through my mind as I think about it here. UTI down there in Concord. There's Wortman right there. Tommy Ryan continuing to lead here. Tommy is playing the long game here because he's got nothing to lose but a race here. So Tommy is just trying to simply run this fuel out and come to pit road and hope for a yellow. And when it all cycles around, Eric Arnold is actually going to be the leader of this race by a very large margin. Very impressive how that's worked out. Let's go back here. As Mojica and Falkingham nose to tail now as they go past Broughton Holyfield. That's for position. These guys are about 14 seconds back from Eric Arnold. You got Randy Oakham up there in the 8 car. He's yet to pit. So when this all is done, I think you're going to see Eric Arnold leading. Joey Jatina is going to be 2nd. And then these two, 3rd and 4th. As Ryan is on pit road right now. So here comes Tommy. And I think this is a good time to make the announcement that we're going to do here. You see, in his case, Virginia811.com on his car. He is part of a ton of drivers in this series that help represent the 811 series. For those who don't know, that's the Call Before You Dig number. And on Monday nights, it is the North Carolina 811 Cup Series. And we have talked to Joey Jatina. He has asked the Captain Esports Network to come in and broadcast the Cup Series starting tomorrow night at Watkins Glen. So you will see us on the air tomorrow night at the same time, 8:45 Eastern Time. We'll come on and talk to some drivers. And we're going to take a red-eye flight up to New York with a lot of these guys and broadcast tomorrow night's North Carolina 811 Cup Series from Watkins Glen. We'll cover the rest of the season. And it looks like we'll be on for 2023 also. So you'll be able to see the Xfinity or the FEG Xfinity Series next season and the Cup Series here on the Captain Esports Network. I'm even going to have somebody with me tomorrow night. As Mojica and Falkingham battle it out, they're about 2 seconds or so here behind Jatina. They might be just more working together right now, trying to get to Joey and get to Eric Arnold with 40 laps to go in this race. Now, Eric is going to pit again. He will pit probably at lap number 66, which right now we're at 60, so about 6 laps from now, I think you're going to see as Chuck Sweeting makes a pass for the 9th position. I'm sorry, that's a lap car, Teft in the 22, so actually Sweeting staying in the 10th position. My apologies there. So I mentioned Tyler Dalton had a pretty good stop. Well, something went wrong because here is Tyler Dalton. He is back here behind Jimmy Coleman. Oh, and I see where something went wrong. That right side is pancaked. Dalton has been in the wall somewhere. And unless I can find a miracle, I don't know if I have a replay for you. But Tyler Dalton, who was running right up there in 2nd before the pit stop, you saw the damage on the right side. He's going to need a yellow if he's going to have a chance to compete in this race potentially. Chad Coleman going by Bob Gillenwater for position. I think Bob has gone into tire preservation mode after that run. He saw how much he fell off. At the end of the race, he just went and let Chad Coleman just slide on past for the 7th position there. So we've got 4 of the 6 drivers in the playoffs in the top 10 right now. Josh Adams, Jimmy Coleman, and Josh Adams, they're right there in this picture. They are 15th and 16th right now, or 14th and 16th now after that pass by Josh. This race is flying on by next Sunday night. The final of the series of super speedway / mile-and-a-half tracks as we go to Homestead Miami Speedway for the penultimate round of the season here. Join us down in South Florida at 8:45 next Sunday night. And of course, it's on the Phoenix for the finale. Well, Eric Arnold still leads by 2.3 seconds. I would expect him in again in the next lap or two. John Mustian, he was just up there in 10th. He just got passed by Jose Gonzalez and Scott Simley. And let's see if the 31 turns left here. Yep, you see him braking. Here he comes. So Eric Arnold's a pit road at the 2/3 mark. So he and teammate John Mustian Jr. And I think you're going to see Joey Jatina is going to come in here along with the 22 of Andrew Teft. These guys splitting this race in thirds and are going to try to use the fresh tires to gain whatever track position they can, while the rest of these drivers are going to go probably another, 10 laps or so on older tires to the finish of this race. As everybody rolls off the pit road, here comes Eric Arnold. 14.9 for him. Las Vegas Bull Ring's supposed to be out there somewhere, but it's all flat. So Pedro Mojica now takes the lead by 0.6 of a second over Daniel Falkingham. Doy Woods having his best run of the season, arguably, here in the 3rd position right now. Chad Coleman has jumped up to the 4th position here in that 38 car. How about Bob Gillenwater rides 5th? That Beast TV car having a great run. Chuck Sweeting, who some could say is the underdog story in this finale, or in this round of 6, the 6-pack, if you will. He has been the bottom guy coming into each round, literally sitting there on the edge of being eliminated, finds his way into the next round, and here he is, a chance to win a championship. Like I said, he's arguably the Cinderella story here. Running in the 6th position as Ron Holyfield comes to pit road. We continue to go through the field here just a little bit. There's a get past the 98 car of Steve Herring. There's Jose Gonzalez in that Jose Gonzalez car, or Jose Gonzalez car, Speedy Gonzalez car. Running in the 7th position right now, Scott Simley, who missed a couple weeks, comes back. He's up 14 spots in that Verizon number 12. Running in the 8th position there. Josh Adams running in the 9th position right now. He is some 16 seconds back, so Josh is taking advantage of these pit stops from these other cars and has worked his way up there. And there's Tommy Ryan in the top 10 right now in this race. And look at this, split 3 wide up there with 2nd place. That was kind of scary there. It's Tom Dreiling and Andrew Teft getting split by Daniel, who's about 8 cents back. I'm sure that kind of scared him a little bit. All right, we're going to step away and take our final break before we get you to the end of this race. We'll take you side by side as you're watching the FEG Xfinity Series on the Captain Esports Network.
This is the world's premier online racing simulation. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat from your home computer with the most realistic online motorsports experience you'll find anywhere. Race virtually in the world's biggest events with officially licensed series, cars, and tracks. From the high banks of Daytona to the blistering speeds of Indianapolis, the dirt of Eldora to the world's most legendary road courses. It's all here, and with more than 180,000 people just like you already driving, you'll always have someone to race. Ready to get behind the wheel? Sign up at iRacing.com to get started.
All right, back we are. 25 laps to go here in Vegas. Pedro Mojica, 1.2 second lead over Daniel Falkingham as he puts a lap on Josh Parker, who is the first car a lap down. So, you know what? You got to give that man credit for the comeback he's trying to make. He just went a lap down in the, 16th position after starting on pit road. So he has gained all those positions in this race under the green flag. We have not had a single yellow tonight. Not that I'm trying to jinx it, but I'm just speaking facts. That's what my job is here, right? As Chuck Sweeting approaches the 26 of Gonzalez for 5th. If this race continues at the pace it's at right now, if you're in the books, or if you're in the area of Josh Adams or Jimmy Coleman, you're going to need some help here. But, I mean, this is how tight this field is going to be in the round of 6. You look here, if Josh Adams gets by Tommy Ryan and Jimmy Coleman can get in there somehow, you will have all 6 drivers covering the top 10 as we get closer and closer to 20 laps to go. We ride with Bob Gillenwater, the Beast TV number 4. Josh Parker making a pit stop. I think Josh is going to call it a night. Unfortunately for him, it's been not the best one, but it looks like he's jumped to his pit stall there, taking the 81 behind the wall. Up here, Chad Coleman, 4th position. And Jose kind of breathing down his neck a little bit here. We're under the green. I didn't get a chance to do this last week, and I felt kind of bad about it. But as per usual, we go through all the series and talk about what is going on. And, of course, as I talked about a little bit ago, the new announcement, of course, the Captain Esports Network going to be broadcasting the North Carolina 811 Cup Series. We'll see them tomorrow night in action from Watkins Glen. As you see, Gonzalez going to battle Coleman for 4th. That'll be race number 21 of their season, as they still got 2 races before the playoffs start in that series. So Watkins Glen will be race 21 tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Shout out to David Comstock, by the way, who got the win at Michigan last week. VRN covering the Race City Sports Memorabilia Super Speedway Series. That runs on Tuesday nights. Derek Myers winning at Talladega last week. They're going to Daytona in the, I believe that's the Xfinity car. I have to look at the photos of the cars to be able to tell on Sim Racer Hub. I'm used to calling it Dan Lisa. Wednesday, the Truck Series, Trans-Service Truck Series. They're over on the Ghostfire Media Network. You see Coleman now approaching Gonzalez here. Him and Chuck Sweeting. There's Gillen Waters. So 4 cars all coming here under a blanket now. They are going to be at Daytona coming up on Wednesday. They're at Sonoma. Daniel Falkingham winning on the road course there, breaking up the Mohica 2-race streak. Sounds like the Xfinity Series. As we go to Friday night, the Midnight Thunder League. This league races at 11 o'clock on Friday nights over on VRN. And Derek Myers winning in Atlanta. They'll be at Iowa Speedway. What's today? 21st? Next Friday. Yeah, so this coming Friday before taking Labor Day off. And that leads us back to where we are now. This is the best battle on the track right here as you're seeing it. As Sweeting putting pressure on Coleman. As they come up on Burrell there in the 21 car. Now we've talked about it a little bit. I'm going to bring it up here. The Brickyard 400. It is a hosted race that the captain is hosting. It will be Friday night, September 2nd. So it is a week from Friday. And at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the next-gen cars running the oval. Yep, we get the next-gen cars on the oval for 160 laps and 400 miles. If you want to sign up, reach out to me, and we'll get you a part of the race as Burrell gets out of the way here of the 2 leaders. That's if we get enough signups. If we don't get enough signups, then we go run the race. $15 laps to go. Pedro's lead still 1.3 over Daniel Falkingham. Goy Wood still having a big night. Best run of the season easily for him right now. In the 3rd position, Jose Gonzalez, and then this mess for 5th. John Mustin Jr., he's a lap down right now after making his 2nd pit stop. He is leaning on Gillen Water, gets loose. Hold on there, Johnny. Coleman able to hold off Chuck Sweeting so far in this run. As I look over 20 cars right now on the lead lap, Brian Wortman about to be the next casualty of the 58 car. I believe. No, never mind. 15 cars on the lead lap. I misread. If I hit the right driver on my telemetry, I can get it right. There's Pedro right there. Easily going to lead to most laps this evening. Won the halfway bonus of the 10 points that you get for leading. So if he can finish off this dominant run, it'll be the march to the championship for him. So he'll get a little bit of a head start over Chad Coleman, who sits down there in 5th. And Chuck Sweeting would be 3rd in points, believe it or not. Again, I talked about Mr. Cinderella there. Only takes one issue to happen to one of these drivers, and it could put them way back. I mean, let's look at it like this. Last week, Talladega, Pedro Mojica was in the big wreck early in that race, and at one point was sitting back near 30th. And if he had not won the previous 2 races in the round, he probably would not have made the final 6. 10 laps to go already. Tommy getting underneath that 4 car. As Mustian is fighting it out there. That double zero just getting all types of loose. As I look at the cars that pitted there at the 2/3 of the way mark right now, you see Mustian struggling. He is in the 19th position right now. Eric Arnold is back up to 11th, so he's, I guess I would say, sort of made good. He hasn't gotten all the way back to where he was, but I mean, if we're looking at any kind of positive, Joey Jatina 16th, so I think if you ask my vote for if that helped or if that was the right strategy or not, doesn't look like it by the way the results say. And Randy Oakham, Ron Holyfield here. 8 and 1 car battling it out. Two feisty individuals here battling it out. Ron's gonna try. He's trying to slide it up on him. And he clears him. We get back to this battle here with Ryan and Sweeting. This is the 6th place battle now with Gillenwater's like, hey, find me somewhere to go here, boys. Tommy drove it in there pretty deep, but unfortunately you see him wash up the track a little bit over those bumps. Heard one driver say you got to treat turn 3 and 4 here at Vegas kind of like Atlanta, the old Atlanta 3 and 4. Means you got to apex it very late into the corners. You see Tommy make the pass on Chuck, so Tommy up to 6th. And 5 laps to go. I'm seeing some cars dancing around. The ones that are dancing is pretty interesting because the way that it seemed like the right front was wearing in some of these cars, it's like you would think they'd be very tight, but maybe it's a tight, loose type of thing. Water trying to put pressure on that 57. He's there. Both the middle groove. Looks like Bob maybe a little light on entry. Tried to get off the corner with the run on Sweeting. Not really able to get so. We'll keep an eye on this battle here as we got 2 laps to go. Two laps to go here. I just heard Sweeting over the microphone's going to let Bob go. Interesting call there. I mean, classy move, but I don't know if I'm doing that at this point in the race. And look at this. Tyler Dalton's about to go lap down as the final lap for Pedro Mojica. Dominant effort once again for this 58 car. And he is pretty much saying to the field, if you want this championship, The 58 car is going to be the one you are going to have to beat as he kicks off the round of 6 with a win in Las Vegas as Mojica dominates. I'm starting to hear some cars running out of gas apparently, so apparently it was a little tight on the fuel side of things also. And for Mojica, his 6th win of the season from his 6th pole. I've continued to kind of beat this dead horse a little bit. It was the Daniel Falkingham show back at the early part of the season, and here in the latter part, it has become the Mojica show. As he holds off Daniel by 3.5 seconds, so I think the right front on the 39 was probably going bye-bye, which has been already a notorious thing that Daniel's had to fight here in the latter part of the season at some of these 1.5 mile tracks. So you wonder if that played a role again tonight, or was Pedro just that darn good as the 58 wins it tonight over the 39. Doy Woods, his best finish of the season, finishes in 3rd. Jose Gonzalez 4th, and Chad Coleman finishes 5th. And I still haven't figured out why it doesn't do this, but some of the chase drivers don't end up with the P next to their name when it comes to the results. But Coleman likely to be 2nd in points entering next week's race at Homestead. Tommy Ryan finishes 6th, Bob Gillenwater 7th, Scott Simley, Chuck Sweeting, and Josh Adams finishing in the top 10. Eric Arnold 11th, Jimmy Coleman 12th. Coleman the worst of the playoff drivers there in the 12th position. Tyler Dalton, last car in the lead lap, 13th. Glenn Campbell 14th, Joey Giatina 15th, Charles Woods, Ron Holyfield, and Randy Yoakum finishing in the 18th position. Looking at 19th through 30th, you see John Mustin Jr. finishing 19th, Brian Wortman 20th, Tom Dreiling 21st, Andrew Teff 22nd, Steve Herring, Doug Sigmund, Ed Burrell, Tristan Ferris, Josh Parker, Mike Mondesi finishing there in the 28th position, 29th and 30th, Jeff Ryan and Gerald Livingston. As we will talk to some of the drivers here in Victory Lane. We'll talk to Mojica here in just a second. And we'll talk to the other top 3, and who knows, maybe a couple other drivers when it is all said and done. So let's start with the driver that finished in the 3rd position, probably maybe the happiest person of the whole group. Let's see if I'm right about that, and that being Doy Woods. As he finishes into 3rd position, and Doy, man, congratulations. Best finish of the season, I believe, for you, and that Davey Allison throwback. Happy to see that 28 up there finishing P3.
Yeah, man, I'm a part-timer. You know, haven't had all my stuff together too much. Just a lot of stuff going on at the shop. But a good run. I think I had something for them boys, just tire strategy. And I had to race some guys a little too hard there at the beginning and lost a lot of time. And I couldn't make it up because you got to save the tires. And but all in all, a good run. I figured I was going to get 3rd. And, you know, there was a lot more in the tank, but just wanted to save the tires and have something there at the end in case those 2 leaders got tangled up. And but it wasn't meant to be. But you know, a 3rd place is pretty good. I'm getting to talking to you, so that's a good thing.
That's never a bad thing. I guess, did the tire strategy kind of surprise you, or was this expected? Because this is one thing that, like, I know in previous races, if tires came into play, I could hear like drivers or even be in the room with you guys, and I could hear them say, "Man, tires are a big deal. My tires are worn already. This and that." I didn't hear really a word about tires tonight, and it seemed like it showed up mid-race there. Was that something we knew that was coming?
Yeah, some of the boys on TeamSpeak on the team, you know, they was running pretty hard, and they had tire wear, excessive tire wear. I was pretty good there. I still had like 50, 51% still on my tires that last run. Just just on the easy street cruising, just taking care of my equipment. Wanted to finish. I have a hard time finishing, and but it feels good to finish. And yeah, the tires held up. There was a big problem. A lot of guys were short fitting, as you know, and they was hoping for that caution. It never happened, which is a good thing. I love the long runs, and I'm at my best on the long run. I think I can put it to all these young cats and old cats up in here when we got the tires is an issue.
Well, great job tonight, Doy. I'm happy for you, my man. And way to put that, even a Ford. Look at that. Haviland Ford up there in the top 3 tonight. Shout out to whoever you like to, buddy.
Yeah, all the guys at the team, they make me faster. You know, the winner, Pedro and Daniel and Chad and all the guys that's on the team, you know, they really keep me up to speed. And they're a bunch of good old boys, and I wish the best for them. And they wanted the best they are. And if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here. And big kudos to those guys. And that's about it. I'd like to thank my sponsors, and that's about it.
Well, great job tonight. Congratulations on the top 3, man. Hopefully this will become maybe a pattern as you when you show up for races and stuff. And maybe we will talk to you, who knows, eventually in Victory Lane. Because you know what they say, you start finishing races up front, Victory Lane shows up.
That's right. I won this race last year, so I was the defending winner. Wish I could have got it done. But, yeah, hopefully you'll see me real soon in Victory Lane.
Sounds good, brother. Congratulations on your P3 and on your win last season.
Thank you, sir.
Doy Woods finishing in the 3rd position. I obviously wasn't there for that race. Finishing in the 3rd position. Congratulations to him. And anytime, I say this unbiasedly, anytime you have a Davey Allison paint scheme, it's a big thumbs up in my book. Just put it like that. All right, let's talk to our 2nd place finisher real quick. And that is, of course, Daniel Falkingham, who finishes in P2. Daniel, congratulations on the run there. This kind of did not fall into your wheelhouse, especially with what you've had to go through this season on these like 1.5-mile tracks. I think back to like Kentucky and maybe it was Kansas. I can't remember the other track you and Pedro had that battle at. But it just seems like those intermediate 1.5-mile tracks with the banking and the right front driving just seems to kind of hurt you a little bit when it comes to winning a race.
I mean, on some of the 1.5 miles, we've actually been pretty good, but when they actually kind of drive good, but when they just plow tight like they did at Charlotte and another track, I don't know, just can't seem to figure it out. But I mean, plus we had to come from like 20th as well, and we tried to pit a lap early, and I don't know, my right front just was already falling off like 35 laps into a run, and I just couldn't figure it out. If we would have held our gap behind Pedro after at the first run, we were only like 2.5 behind him. But we kind of got stuck behind Tyler there. But then after that, like my front end would just go straight to the wall, like no matter what I do. So I kind of had to pit earlier than I wanted to, but that was my own shot at the win. And just felt my pit stop was all good and stuff. It's just our gap was just so far back because my right front just decided to just call it a day, I guess. So it was unfortunate, but at the end of the day, I mean, we came from 20th, so I knew it was gonna be hard enough to win anyway. But we gave ourselves a shot, so that's all you can ask for, I guess.
Yeah, if anybody's seen Daniel's tire on the strip anywhere, it might belong to the 39 car. But needless to say, man, you kind of mentioned you coming from 20th. Obviously, I want to see, yeah, you're the biggest mover by 1 spot. How tough was it to pass out there? Because I know, like but Pedro, it took him about 10 laps to get around Tyler for the lead. So I can only imagine how tough it was.
It's a track like this where the middle is pretty huge in 1 and 2, with the middle being as huge as it is, just it's really hard to pass there, and yeah, just plus the bottom 1 and 2, I just try to stay on there, see if I can conserve my right front, staying cleaner because everyone run the middle. It's just it's so bumpy down in 1 and 2 where it's really hard to just keep it down there on the white line. Plus, it's really easy to get tight. And just middle 1 and 2 is pretty dominant. So, but then, yeah, it was just overall pretty hard to pass. It was harder to pass than I thought it was going to be. But if maybe the car was a little bit freer, a little bit more set up free, I think pass would have been definitely a little bit more easy in my opinion. But oh well, just stuff to think about. But yeah, it was a little bit more difficult than I thought it was going to be. Really, only time I made a lot of passes on one was that first start of the race where no one went in the back, and I picked up like 6 spots on the initial start. So, yeah, pretty hard to pass, but other than that, it wasn't too bad.
Well, great job tonight, finishing second, and shout out to everybody too.
Yeah, just gotta thank you for putting on the broadcast. I look forward to having you on Monday nights now. Saw that come out, so looking forward to having you tomorrow night. Thanks to Jerry 31st, First Bay Lock 207 for all they do. Joey and all the guys who run the show, 500. Everyone who runs each and every week. Also got to thank FEG Ford Entertainment Group for all they do for the series. Team name, Chad, Pedro, Doy, Josh. Congrats to Pedro on the win, and congrats to him on the championship. I got to thank everyone at North Force Racing, Pedro, Preston Gilson, and the whole crew over there. We had a great race on Thursday for Road to Pro. We're back above the cut line trying to make the top 20 for contenders, so we're looking good over there. But yeah, thanks to all the fellows over there who make the work each and every week. Parker White, Dana Butfugo, Tyler Gary, Wyatt Tinsley, Colin Salek, and everyone who works over there. Thanks to friends, family for watching. Thanks to all the fans watching the race, and Cosmin for painting up my car.
There you go, my man. Well, great job tonight. Congratulations on your second place finish.
All right, thanks, Chris. You have a good one. See you tomorrow.
Yes, sir. You too. Is it your flight I'm catching, by the way?
If you want to catch my flight to Watkins Glen, you can hop on. We got plenty of room.
I know some people up in that area. Just saying, live to Rochester for a little bit.
I gotcha. Well, the seats waiting at the airport when we get done over here.
Woohoo! I'll see you there.
All right, see you then.
Hey, it's Daniel Falkingham. I've got a flight to Watkins Glen. Woohoo! Garbage plate time, boys. Right. Congratulations to him on P2. And P1 goes to Mr. Pedro. 6 wins on the season and gets another one here tonight. And just delete the Talladega race out of the way, right? Just continuing this little win streak on every track outside of super speedways. And Pedro, your teammate just pretty much said, hey, congratulations, you won the championship. I was like, that's a little early, but man, what a head start, though, to get to it, man. Leading the most laps tonight, but wasn't easy. You had to do a little save on that right front tire.
Yeah, no, for sure, Chris. I knew coming in that tires were going to be key. Just from practicing, the tires wore out pretty bad. Like pretty much like 10, 15 laps before a pit stop, you could potentially get the tire warning from the crew chief. So, yeah, man, that was the biggest thing I really focused on was managing tires. I mean, there at the beginning, I got my one lap lead, and I let Tyler go do his thing for a little while, and eventually I got back to him and we got around him and set sail for the rest of the race. Yeah, man, tires were really important. I mean, even there, I pitted. I waited till Daniel pitted because he was my closest competition, and when he pitted, I pitted the next lap, and I figured we were going to be really close. I was happy that I came out in front of him because then I could kind of control what I wanted to do. So I tried to manage tires there at the beginning, and Daniel was definitely running hard to try to get around me to get the lead and get the clean air. So I ran hard just to kind of match him and just stay in front of him, just because I knew if I could just stay in front of him, have one lap better tires, I'd probably be able to manage him a little bit better to him and have the one lap on him to pull back away from him, which we were able to. So, yeah, man, good night, man. I love Vegas. It's one of my favorite tracks. I think at Sim 500 is probably one of my best tracks statistically. So I always look forward and love coming to Las Vegas to race. So the setup was, it was a little tight on entry for myself. I think some people said it was tighter than that, but like I said, I don't know, something with my driving style worked really well to manage the right front and actually have the right rear wear more than the right front. So talking to my teammates in the race, they had the other problem. So, but yeah, man, it was a good race in my book.
Well, you kind of segued it right there at the last second. I was going to ask you. You pitted at lap 54 with 46 laps to go. I was going to say, would you be able to give me a reading of what you remember seeing your right front tire at? But it appears, as you said, your right rear was wearing more. So I'm guessing you didn't have the right fronts that probably some of these drivers had.
Yeah, so when I pitted there, I was 25-21, I think, is what my right sides were. So yeah, they were pretty wore out, but yeah, I mean, like I said, I was wearing the right rear about 3 to 4% more during the run. So And I was just, like I said, it's just the way I was driving on entry. You know, I was really trying to manage the right front. So in the case I needed it, like at the beginning of the race when I had to get around Tyler, I could throw it in the corner and I could pretty much use up the right front because I had right front to use up.
Yeah, I noticed how you made that
So
pass. That's exactly what you did. You kind of threw a slider in there on him to get the top groove from him. But great job there to win this race, man. Shout out to whoever you like to.
all right, well, yeah, I'd like to thank Tap Out Tuning, V Performance Academy, and Michael Sharp Racing, and the man himself, Michael Sharp. Without them, I wouldn't even be in this series. So appreciate them funding this deal, and you know we're one step closer to a championship. So hopefully we can continue that. Ford Entertainment Group for sponsoring this series. They do fun stuff every year for the series, and I'd say the steering wheel, the direct drive wheel that they got going up, it's a nail biter for sure. It's like what 2 or 3 laps between Chad and Joshua
2 laps,
Adams.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so those guys, that's gonna come down to the end, man. So you know, that's gonna be an entertaining thing to watch, as well as this championship. And then Trey Edson for painting the car, appreciate it for doing that. Joey, Jimmy, all the admins at Sim 500, appreciate what they do, um, and letting us race here. Chris, appreciate what you do, broadcast. Hopefully we put on a good show for you, and everybody at Team Name. Um, like I say every week, man, we have a lot of fun racing each other. We race each other really hard, but we have a lot of fun doing it, and I'd say we've had a pretty good year as a team.
There you go, my man. Well, great job tonight. See you at Homestead next week, and we'll go from there. Good job.
All right, thanks, man.
You too. Pedro Mojica winning tonight here in Las Vegas. Congratulations to him on the 6th win of the season. Let's talk to some more drivers. Let's see who's out here, who's available to talk. I think our second place guy when it comes to the playoff drivers is here. So let's why don't we bring up Mr. Chad and talk to him here. A 5th place finish, a top 5 run, nice smooth easy day for the woodshed there of the NOS Energy drink number 38. Are you happy? How you feeling about after that run? Being looks like you're second in points.
Yeah, I mean that was all right. I moved around and found the line that worked for me at the end of the race, and I was a lot better on the longer run there. But the first run, I blew the right front tire off of it, and we were pretty much a duck there for a few laps and gave up a couple of seconds. So probably should have ran 4th, maybe had a shot at 3rd with maybe with Racing Doy with what I found on the last run there. But other than that, pretty good finish. We'll take it and go on. Need Pedro to wreck at least one race. If he wrecks at least once, I got a shot.
Do I ask the question I asked before the race?
What is that?
You're gonna have to win one of these races to get the championship.
I don't think I'm gonna win one. I just need Pedro to have a problem.
Well, hey, in all seriousness, so yeah, we talked about the tires. Doy said he kind of expected it from what he felt in his car with the way the setup was. Did that come to you as a surprise seeing the tire wear like it did there at the end of that run, or was it something of that you expected but you didn't think it would come that quick?
Well, with what we were doing, like at the first of the race started off, didn't go at all, just kind of rode, and it surprised me that it still came at about the same rate it would have if I would have pushed for the first 20-25 laps. The wear rate still came about really close to the same. So, and that's what I figured out on that second run. The second run, I came out and just went harder and changed my line, and the tire wear was better. The second run was a lap or 2 shorter than the first. The right front percentage was 22% different.
Wow. Well, still a great effort tonight, going finishing 5th. Now you get to go to Homestead next Sunday night, and hey, you got a chance at least. That's all that matters. So you did everything you could do tonight. So your chance. Throw some shout outs out there.
Yeah, I thank Joey and everybody at Sim 500 for putting the deal together. Thank Trey Idson painting this car. He painted it about 2 years ago. It looks good, so we keep driving it. And thank you for broadcasting, and give a shout out to Pedro on the win. Good job.
Absolutely. Good job, buddy.
Thanks, Chris.
Chad Coleman finishing in the 5th position. Let's get Bob Gillenwater. Let's talk to him. Looks like a lot of the guys are hanging around here, which is cool. And let's move Chad to his team name channel. Oh, never mind, he'll move himself, I guess. And let's talk to Bob, who finished in the 7th position overall, so he'll likely be 3rd in points entering the race here next week at Homestead. Bob, it looked like you looked pretty good there for a little bit, and then it looks like maybe the old tire bug hit you there at the end of that first run, because I saw your car fall off the map, it looked like. But obviously you got better there in the second half.
Yeah, I struggled with it. I kind of didn't worry that the first part of that run and let those guys pull off, and felt like I was saving the right front, and just kind of thought, felt like they were driving it in a lot harder than I was just kind of waiting. Thought, I'll let them fall off and I'll long run it here. But my right front just died. I was lucky. I even had to pit early to miss, the stage points. I'm lucky I didn't have a right front blowout. Yeah, it was terrible. But backed it up and used a whole lot more brake on that second run, and I think that saved it a whole lot. So, learned through the race. Didn't have any time really to practice this week, and of course it shows. So, lucky that I had to finish. I did.
Did you move by any chance? Did you move any of the brake bias around, like to the back, maybe a little bit, to allow the car maybe to enter a little freer into the corners to save that right front?
Yeah, absolutely. And I did that on that second run, and I think I was all the way down to 57% on my brake bias, just kind of to pull that front end in and save that right front. And, my tire wear, I was like 50% better on that second run, and was kind of catching Chad back up a little bit. The 00 kind of got in there and mixed it up with us a little bit, but I did get back around Chuck. But yeah, it was a learning experience, but just learned a little bit too late in the race to kind of get it under me.
Well, you still made the best of that situation. Finishing 7th, another top 10 for you. Obviously, looks like bonus points are going to play a role. I'm not sure where everything was on that. An Amber Alert, unfortunately. 3rd in points looks like entering Homestead next week, so that looks pretty good on your part, but shout out to whoever you like to.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you, Chris, Captain Esports. It's been a pleasure this season. Only 2 races left. It's hard to believe that it's almost over, but Jimmy Coleman, CM500, and all the gang, and my Mafia brothers, just appreciate them so much. And a big shout out to Larry Porch and Debbie and Dan Ricky and those guys are kind of out in the mountains this weekend. But Martin Ubel and Bama and everybody at Beast TV, Shelly, just really, can't thank them enough for being on the car this season.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, it's almost over on the Xfinity side, but some birdie told me that I get to do some Cup stuff now too. So,
hey, it sounds good. Yeah, hey, Winter Series will crank up quick, man. We'll be ready to go.
All right, buddy. Well, great job. We'll see you next week.
Yeah. Hey, thanks, man. Appreciate it a lot.
Yes, sir. Bob Gillenwater finishing in the 7th position overall. He'll be sitting down at 3rd, it looks like, depending on bonus points, as I mentioned. Going into round 2, looks like Chuck Sweeting has already bailed out. Adams, he gone. And Jimmy Coleman's still around, so let's talk to Jimmy. Jimmy, unfortunately, probably going to be the more disappointed one of the group, I would have to say, tonight. Let's pull you up here, Jimmy. Unfortunate 12th place finish for you. I'm sure it wasn't the race you expected to have. I know a lot of curveballs seem like were thrown out there with the way the tires were and stuff like that. And I know it probably doesn't feel good to finish 12th and be the worst of the 6 playoff drivers.
No, man, it don't. Pretty disappointed. I felt pretty good. I felt like I at least had a top 5 car. And as the run went on, I thought I was saving my tires pretty well, but I must not have. And right there, I was trying to get some halfway points, but it just didn't work out. My tires fell off so much. I just missed it by a position or so. And then by that point, I was so far behind, it was hard to catch up. I was hoping we get a caution, but that's just how it goes sometimes. Just got to regroup, come back next week.
Yeah, absolutely. I know, talking to Bob, he talked about how he actually moved some braking to the rear on his car to help him out getting through the corners. That's something, because I know you two are in the same channel there. Is that something he shared with you guys and you were able to adjust back, or did you find something yourself that maybe helped you in that second run, or was it one of those, it was just like too little too late and you couldn't figure it out?
Yeah, I was trying to do the same thing, trying to bring bias back a little bit. And then I was trying to, kind of arc the corner maybe a little later, especially 3 and 4, because you kind of get maybe a push loose. So I was trying to help that, and it seemed to help. But like I said, by that point, I was just holding on, hoping the race would end as soon as it could if I didn't get a caution. But like I said, I just appreciate everybody coming out, all the guys, and hopefully we bounce back next week. We got 2 more races. So.
Yes. Well, yes, sir. We got 2 more left to 12th place finish. Your chance. Why don't you send some shout outs to everybody?
Like I said, appreciate all the guys in the league overall. Frustrating not for me, but overall, I mean, the green flag run just says all it can about these guys. I mean, you got to bring your A game. If not, I mean, you're going to be falling back quick. Shout out to Peter Rod Towing for always being on board with me. Chris, you doing the broadcast, FEG for sponsoring. You know, they've always been on board with us. And just shout out to everybody else. Hope everybody enjoyed the show.
Absolutely, man. We look forward to more next week in Homestead Sunday night. And we will see you next week. And you'll get better, buddy. Keep it up.
Yeah, forward, man. Appreciate it.
You too. Jimmy Coleman finishing in the 12th position tonight. He'll be, unfortunately, the last seed as we enter the final 2 races of the season coming up here next week at Homestead before going to Phoenix to wrap up the season. So a great race, I'd say. 100 laps of caution-free racing. Saw tire wear come into play. Saw some strategy work come into play. Unfortunately for Eric Arnold and John Mustin Jr. and a couple others there who tried that 2-stop strategy, it looks like they weren't really able to take advantage of that situation. Looks like just too far back when it was all over with. So it's one that I've tried before in other races and things, and just unfortunately, a 100-lap race, it just didn't work out for them this evening. But man, what a run for drivers like Doy Woods. Let's see, Tommy Ryan, good bounce back for him after the luck he went through in round number 2. Scott Simley, a great run after being out a couple of weeks. So that definitely was something those guys needed as we get ready to go to 2 races to go here next week at Homestead. So, as I mentioned, tomorrow night, something new for us here in the Captain Esports Network. We will be with the Sim 500 again, and we will move to the Watkins Glen International Raceway, the foothills of, or not the foothills, I should say, the Finger Lakes region. I live in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains here in Georgia, but the Finger Lakes region up there, Lake Seneca, right on the edge of Turn 1 of this that 2.45 mile road course. Looking forward to seeing the next gen cars out there on the track tomorrow night at 9 o'clock Eastern time. I will have somebody with me in the booth. There will be 2 of us broadcasting, and we'll know who that is tomorrow night, by the way. And we'll go from there. So looking forward to what that race has in store for us. I've not seen a road race yet here at Sim 500, so this is going to be a new one to me. I might have to go watch some of the races from earlier this season in the other broadcast networks to see what could happen to Watkins Glen. But obviously, it's some call it the super speedway of road courses because, you know, a lot of straightaways. You got the bus stop, of course, and then you go to turn 6, the carousel, and man, what used to be called 11 corners, but now all of a sudden it's changed to 7 corners, and they don't count the bus stop as a corner anymore. So I'm a little confused by that one. But old school racers, we know it as 11 corners. 7 of them are right. 4 are left. That's the old Watkins Glen Road course. So it should be a lot of fun. At 8:45 tomorrow night, we'll be live. We'll talk to some of the drivers and get you ready for some road racing in the next gen car as part of the North Carolina 811 Cup Series. That should be a lot of fun. Looking forward to that tomorrow evening. So we're going to head out and go to bed. It's almost at the work in the morning, I guess. Apparently. It's Monday already. Yeah. Remember, this isn't just a game. It's iRacing. See ya.